This is more of US concept. Okay, so the student was asking, how do I do notes in general? All right, notes for key concepts like even PED, PES, YED, CED, or if you look at market structure, EOS, internal, external, DOS. You can even do it for barriers to entry. Okay, concepts like this. For macroecons, maybe not so much, because for macroecons, I have my own frameworks for standard of living and for even the A3 exercise for you to understand policies. So if you're trying to do notes for concepts like this, can you not do it like this? For example, for EOS, one chunk internal EOS, one chunk external EOS. When you do this, you are just copying from your school notes. I would like you to prepare this for application. Okay, when I say prepare for application, that means I want you to do DDEE notes. Definition, all right, diagram, explanation, and examples. So you do this. For internal EOS, you do it for external EOS. Do it for internal DOS, do it for external DOS. It's not going to be very long, right? Maybe one full page for internal EOS. Why? Because there are more examples. For the rest, it's very short. Now, why do I want you to do notes like this? If you see EOS coming out in an essay, right? The essay is probably going to look like this. Differentiate. They'll probably ask you to differentiate the concepts, right, of internal and external EOS. Okay? So they will probably ask you to differentiate between these concepts. And if you didn't do your notes according to DDEE, instead, you are doing your notes based on the school notes, one whole chunk on internal, one whole chunk on external, you will be very tempted to answer it like this. One chunk, internal EOS. One chunk, external EOS. And that happens very commonly. Or even when they ask you to differentiate PED, YED, CED, well, I see 3 paragraphs. One paragraph PED, one paragraph YED, one paragraph CED. Then you have forgotten the command word, differentiate, which means to explain the differences. So don't do it like this. Rather, when they ask you to differentiate, each paragraph is a difference between the two concepts. So paragraph 1, I could say, oh, internal EOS comes from growth of the firm. External EOS is independent of firm size. It's tied to industry size. And you probably see, oh, this part was inspired by definition, right? Then paragraph 2, okay? Under paragraph 2, I'll say, okay, internal EOS is a movement downward along your LRAC. External EOS is a downward shift. Downward shift in your LRAC. This was inspired by the diagram. Of course, you draw the diagram. Paragraph 3, I'll simply say, all right, the third difference is that internal and external EOS, they have different forms or different factors. So this is really my examples. So you go on to say, oh, this one you could have technical, you could have marketing. Please give example, okay, like, oh, Sheng Siong has bulk purchase, bulk discounts. Don't just name the EOS, give examples. Then external EOS is like economies of, okay, information, economies of concentration. Give examples as well. And that's it. So when you study based on DDEE, you're more ready to apply. Can? And this is better. Can? Rather than chunks. But if you're not sure whether to do DDEE notes for a certain concept, let me know. Surely I will ask you to do DDEE for what? Fiscal policy. For that one, I told you A3 exercise. I won't ask you to do DDE notes for standard of living because why? That one I have DERCO. If these things don't sound familiar to you, no worries. Topical revision is coming up. Some J1 classes are also moving on to the national income topic. I'll let you know. I'll invite you to join. It's all in that letter that I sent out today. Okay? All right. Questions?